Welcome to Making Maverick Moves. In this episode, I'm sharing a presentation I gave earlier this year at the Global Women in Tech Conference. The topic, Rising to the Top in Male-Dominated Fields, a subject that is near and dear to my heart. Throughout my career in the military, the FBI, and the LA Metro, I didn't just work alongside men. I primarily led them. From counterintelligence to investigations to security, I learned what it takes to rise, lead, and thrive in environments where women are often the exception. In this talk, I share some of those experiences and offer practical tips you can use on your own journey. I hope it inspires you to make your own Maverick moves. Enjoy. My name is Gina L. Osborn, and I'm an Army veteran. I spent 6 years during the end of the Cold War as a counterintelligence agent. I was appointed as an FBI agent, and during my 22-year career, worked everything from Asian organized crime to terrorism. I became the Assistant Special Agent in charge of cyber and computer forensics. And then I came out of retirement and spent 2 years as the Safety and Security Officer at LA Metro. Now I'm here to help you make your Maverick move. Hi everyone, I'm Gina L. Osborn, coming to you live from the Making Maverick Moves podcast studio in Orange County, California. Today I'm here to talk about something I know a thing or two about, rising to the top in male-dominated fields. So let me ask, how many of you find that you're the only female sitting at the table in the room? Put a raised hand emoji in the comment section if you are. Well, you're not alone. I've been there too. I'm an Army veteran, a retired FBI executive, and the former Chief Safety and Security Officer for LA Metro, all positions in highly male-dominated fields and industries. Just like all of you women in technology, one of my most favorite groups to speak with, by the way, I've been in your shoes. At some point, you might be the only woman in the room, and when you are, I want you to come back to today's conversation and remember what I'm about to share with you. Some limits aren't real. They're just lines we've learned not to cross. Some barriers don't need breaking. They were never there to begin with. And sometimes the biggest obstacle is the belief that one exists at all. That doesn't mean the playing field is even, but the most dangerous obstacles aren't the ones out there. They're the ones we carry inside our heads and in our hearts. I'm here to challenge your thinking, to give you the courage to rise to the top and to create your own space to do so. And to do this, I want to start with a story. So we're going back to 2004. I'm an FBI agent with zero technical experience and a psychology degree. Yet somehow I'll become the Assistant Special Agent in charge of the FBI's largest cyber and computer forensics programs. In the FBI, if you want to move up the ladder, you must do a tour at headquarters in Washington, D.C. I choose the inspection division. Every 2 weeks, I'm either in D.C. or flying out to inspect field offices across the country to ensure they operate effectively and efficiently. The FBI cyber program has just been created, and when it comes time to inspect how it's being implemented in the Chicago field office, none of the inspection team leaders raise their hand because no one has cyber experience. So I raised my hand. I may not know cyber, but I know leadership. To prepare for this inspection, I build a small team of top cyber supervisors from other field offices. I meet with cyber program executives at FBI headquarters to understand their priorities. When we land in Chicago, their cyber program is a mess. Priority and resources completely out of sync. We help fix that. With this one cyber inspection under my belt, I suddenly become the subject matter expert for cyber in the inspection division, still barely able to turn on a computer. Well, a year later, when the Los Angeles field office created the FBI's first Assistant Special Agent in Charge role for cyber, I get the job, even without the hard technical chops. When I arrive, I'm surrounded by some of the sharpest cyber minds in the FBI. I check in each day with my young squad supervisors, wanting to see how I can contribute. After all, the Army and all my male mentors up until this point have taught me to lead from the front. But it didn't take long to realize when I try to lead from the front with these cyber geniuses, no one follows me. On day 3, one of my squad supervisors looked me straight in the eye and said, "You know, Gina, you don't have to call us every day. If we need anything, we'll call you." Knife to the heart. That moment forces me to face the truth. In this world, tech knowledge is currency, and I have none. So I ask myself, what do I bring to the table? After wrestling with the demons in my head that enjoy telling me that I don't belong, I'm not good enough, I'm a joke, the answer is a lot. I'm a great communicator, able to translate cyberspeak into executive speak. I'm an exceptional problem solver, skilled at managing people, budgets, and securing the resources my team badly needs. And I know how to navigate FBI headquarters, which means more money, more support, and more wins for our team. By leaning into those superpowers, something magical happens. For the first time in my law enforcement career, I learned to lead authentically, not by pretending to be something I wasn't, but by owning everything I was. And it pays off. I remain in that position for the next 11 years, growing our team and expertise into the FBI's largest cyber and computer forensics program in the country, leading high-profile investigations to include the 2014 Sony hack. So here is the moral of the story. Rising to the top in a male-dominated field doesn't mean being the smartest or the most technical person in the room. It means knowing exactly what you bring to the table and leading from there. When you work in male-dominated environments, it's easy to put yourself in a box. We're often isolated because we feel different or we feel we have something to prove. And sometimes we listen to that voice in our head that's waiting to pounce on every misstep. Here's what my 30-year career taught me. The assumptions we make about ourselves, the one that say we're not ready, we don't belong, we need to do more before we step up, aren't usually based in reality. They're just a story, one we've told ourselves so many times, we start to believe it. But here's the good news. If you can change the story, you can change the outcome. And that's where these 3 Maverick moves come into play. They'll help you shift the narrative, show up powerfully, and get out of your own way so you can rise, so you can lead, and so you can thrive on your own terms. Maverick move number 1, command the scene. The first Maverick move is about commanding the scene, stepping forward, especially when you're the only one who looks like you or sounds like you at the table. Mavericks don't shrink to fit the mold. They use what makes them different to lead with power. As I mentioned, when I was promoted to the cyber executive position in Los Angeles, I didn't have a tech background. When I became the chief safety officer and security officer at LA Metro, I had no transportation experience. But what I did have was leadership. I had vision, and I had the willingness to raise my hand and say, I'll figure it out. That's the mindset that moves the needle, because what some see as a gap, Mavericks see as an edge. Fresh eyes ask better questions. Unconventional backgrounds build stronger coalitions. And instincts that you've earned from real-world experience become your superpower. The difference between a maverick and the masses, Mavericks lead because they're different, not despite it. Breakthrough leadership doesn't come from blending in. It comes from owning your perspective, backing yourself with facts and courage, building coalitions that challenge the status quo, and showing up boldly even when you haven't checked every box to get there. Because Mavericks don't wait to prove they belong. They lead like they do. Maverick move number 2, rewire the code. The second Maverick move is about owning the conversation in your head. Mavericks don't let this thing called imposter syndrome run the show. They catch the glitch, rewrite the code, and keep moving forward. In tech, when outdated code slows down a system, engineers refactor it. In leadership, when outdated self-talk shows up, I'm not ready, I don't belong, I got lucky, Mavericks don't accept it as fact. They trace the bug, they delete the bad data, and they install a better truth. That voice of doubt, it doesn't mean you're broken, it means you're growing, stretching, leading under pressure. The difference between a maverick and the masses, Mavericks don't wait to feel confident. They lead through the doubt. Breakthrough success comes from naming the lie, replacing it with truth, remembering the wins that got you here, and trusting that pressure doesn't mean you're cracking, it means you're rising. So when that voice says you're not ready, your answer, I'm upgrading in real time. And Maverick move number 3, be ready to roll. The third Maverick move is about bold execution, moving forward before the path is perfectly clear. In the FBI, we call it being ready to roll. So it's 0 dark 30. You're outside a suspect's house with an arrest warrant in your hand, heart pounding. You don't know what's on the other side of that door. Is the suspect asleep upstairs, or is he lying in wait? But this is the moment, the threshold, no turning back. You're trained, equipped, and committed. And the second that you step through that door, you know you'll handle whatever comes. That same energy applies outside of law enforcement too. It's what entrepreneurs feel before launching something bold. It's what change makers feel when they challenge broken systems. It's what you feel when you make a move that really matters. The difference between a maverick and the masses? Mavericks move anyway. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't overthink their way into stagnation. They act, and the act of moving creates the momentum that they need. Breakthrough success comes from preparing smart, committing fully, pivoting fast, and trusting that you'll figure it out on the other side of that door. Because Mavericks don't freeze, they don't wait, they roll. Now, let's bring it home. The biggest barriers in male-dominated fields aren't always visible. They're the silent expectations, the doubts, the unwritten rules. But Mavericks don't play by those rules. We don't wait for permission. We don't hold back until the timing's perfect. And we certainly don't shrink ourselves to fit someone else's mold. When you command the scene, you lead with presence, not apology. When you rewire the code, you lead with clarity, not compromise. When you're ready to roll, you lead with action, not hesitation. So, here's your moment of truth. What have you been led to believe about what's possible for you in this space? And are you ready to challenge it? Because the only thing standing between you and breakthrough success is the maverick move you choose to make next. So I ask you, will you wait your turn or rise and take your place? Will you play it small or lead with power? You already know the answer. It is time to move.